At 9:18 p.m., the first sound came from the maple by the driveway. Not a chirp. Not yet. More like wires warming behind a wall. In 2025, Brood 14 came back after 17 years underground, rising across parts of the eastern United States like a buried alarm finally ringing. Most summers have cicadas. You know the sound. Heat made audible. Trees humming until the air itself feels crowded. But periodical cicadas do not drift in casually. They arrive all at once. Billions of small bodies with red eyes and perfect timing. Brood 14 was last above ground in 2008. Its next scheduled return is expected in 2042, if the old clock keeps working. For almost their whole lives, they stay below us. Under sidewalks. Under yards. Drinking from roots while houses change owners above them. Periodical cicadas feed from tree roots as nymphs, waiting underground until soil and season pull the entire brood toward the surface. That would be strange enough. A living calendar under the lawn. Then some of them come back missing part of themselves. Massospora cicadina infects 13-year and 17-year periodical cicadas, consuming reproductive tissue and replacing the abdomen with a plug of fungal spores. From above, the insect may still look whole, wings folded, legs gripping bark, eyes bright as if nothing has noticed the loss. Scientists estimate only about 2 to 4% of Brood 14 may be infected, but small percentages become visible when billions emerge. The ordinary ones climb, split, harden, call mate, and die. A blunt life. A loud month after 17 silent years. Breath. The infected ones keep moving too. That is the detail that stays under the skin, not death, continuation. The fungus can alter male cicada behavior, making infected males flick their wings like receptive females and draw other males close. It turns courtship into contact, contact into dust, dust into the next waiting place beneath the trees. Researchers have found cathinone, a stimulant compound also found in cat and Massospora infected periodical cicadas. Nature does not need a haunted house. Sometimes it only needs a body that keeps obeying a command after the body is gone. National Geographic reports that some annual cicadas infected by related Massospora fungi have contained psilocybin, another compound known for altering perception. Still, the woods do not look theatrical. No warning, no red sky, just shells on bark and a steady electrical hymn. Researchers still do not know exactly when resting spores infect cicadas, soon after hatching, years underground, or near emergence. Pause. That uncertainty has a shape. A white grain in the dirt. A patient thing waiting longer than most grudges last. Brood 14's 2025 emergence was expected from early May through June, across parts of roughly a dozen eastern states. Imagine opening the back door at midnight and hearing the trees speak in one flat note. Then seeing the patio move. Despite the noise and numbers, periodical cicadas do not bite, sting, or carry disease the way many people fear. If they appear near your home, consider leaving them alone. The sound is startling. The animals are native. Panic helps nothing. If you find one with a chalky missing abdomen, photograph it clearly and consider uploading it to iNaturalist or Cicada Safari. Citizen science photos help researchers map Massospora infections during brief emergences because anyone with a camera can add a useful observation. There is something uneasy about helping by looking closer, about leaning toward the insect instead of stepping away. Infected cicadas spread spores during attempted mating, turning the ordinary urgency of reproduction into the fungus's method of travel. The infected cicada does not announce itself. It does not stagger like a movie corpse. It flies. It calls. It tries. Massospora cicadina is specialized for periodical cicadas, a parasite tied to the same long rhythm as its hosts. That is the part that feels almost intentional. The fungus waits through the same buried silence. It rises when they rise. Scientists describe the emergence as brief and synchronized. Adult surface, molt, mate, lay eggs in tree branches, and die within weeks. By morning, sidewalks collect them. Shells in corners, wings in gutters. Small, dry bodies at the edge of the welcome mat. Young trees can suffer damage when females cut small slits in branches to lay eggs during dense emergencies. One approach is to protect young trees with fine netting, while leaving mature trees and the cicadas themselves to finish their cycle. Periodical cicadas are often compared to locusts, but they do not swarm fields to strip crops in the same destructive way. Whisper, the uncanny thing is not that they destroy. It is that they return exactly when expected, and some return wrong. Brood 14 is among the oldest recorded periodical cicada broods, with colonial-era observations reaching back to the 17th century. Think about that. Generations of people gone, roads paved, barns collapsed, the insects still keeping time underneath. Mycologist Matt Casson has noted the uncertainty of studying something that spends almost 17 years underground. Science can name the fungus, he can test the compounds, he can map the sightings, but the image remains simple. A cicada lands on your screen door. It sings with half a body. It does not seem to know what half means. The fungus turns mating behavior into transmission, sometimes making infected males both seek mates and attract males by female-like signaling. There is no malice in it, no plan we would recognize, just chemistry, timing, and a white dust where softness used to be. Evolutionary biologist John Cooley called the phenomenon sex, drugs, and zombies, saying nature can be stranger than science fiction. That phrase sounds bright until you stand under the trees and hear thousands of living clocks empty themselves into the dark. The infected adults can lose their abdominal ends while remaining active, a condition sometimes described as a flying spore dispenser. In daylight, children collect shells on sticks. Dogs sniff the grass. Neighbors complain about the noise. The horror stays botanical and patient. If you are sensitive to the sound, closed windows and soft indoor noise may help. The chorus usually lasts only a few weeks. The adult emergence is temporary, but their eggs hatch later and the next generation of nymphs drops down into the soil. So the ending is not an ending, it is a descent. A rain of small bodies returning to the root dark. Researchers want more observations because each emergence is short, uneven, and hard to study once the insects vanish again. If you document one, take clear photos from several angles, avoid harming it, and note the general location in the app. Scientific American reported that public sightings could help reveal where Massospora appears during Brood 14's 2025 return. The map is not just dots. It is a record of something ancient surfacing through lawns, parks, cemeteries, and back roads. The fungus does not make cicadas dangerous to people, but it does make them into carriers for its spores. Consider handling cicadas gently or not at all. If you do touch them, basic hand washing afterward is a simple precaution. The sound can fade for a moment, and that silence feels worse. As if the trees are listening back, only a small share are infected. But with billions above ground, even rare bodies become part of the season's visible texture. The familiar summer buzz becomes bodily. It has legs. It has eyes. It has something powdery where an abdomen should close. Brood 14 adults emerged in huge numbers across regions, including Kentucky, Tennessee, Ohio, and nearby states in the Eastern Range. Lo, somewhere, a person who was a child in 2008 stands in the same yard, hearing the same brood return changed. If the cycle holds, the descendants of this emergence will not appear as adults until 2042. By then, the porch may be repainted. The tree may be gone. The roots below may still be feeding something quiet. Cicadas are ecologically valuable food for birds, mammals, reptiles, and even fish when they fall near water. Avoid pesticides if you can. They may harm more than cicadas, and this brief emergence feeds a larger web around you. The fungus relies on contact and behavior, not movie-style aggression. Infected cicadas continue ordinary actions in altered, contagious ways. That is why the story lingers. Nothing chases you. Nothing screams your name. The trees just keep vibrating. During heavy emergencies, The calls can be loud enough to dominate neighborhoods, parks, and wooded edges for days at a time. Then the chorus thins. One tree goes quiet, then another. The grass begins to hold what the branches cannot. After mating and egg-laying, adult periodical cicadas die, leaving the next generation to begin the long underground interval. For the fungus, death is not failure. Spores settle. Soil closes, the ordinary yard becomes storage. If this story keeps you company tonight, a quiet follow helps more late listeners find the porch light with us. And if you hear cicadas after midnight, listen carefully. Not for the loud ones, for the one that keeps singing after something is missing.